Several years ago, I ran across at the time, a new comic book series written by J. Michael Straczynski entitled Strange. And I was mildly interested in Doctor Strange at the time. More so was I interested in Straczynski. At the time, I think I had just finished Babylon 5 for the first time, or I was working my way through it, and I was very impressed by it. I was a little late to the Babylon 5 train. In that comic, that little miniseries just blew me away. I adored it. It's one of my all-time favorites. And ever since then, I've been a massive Doctor Strange fan. So earlier today, when the trailer came out, I actually back up. When they announced Benedict Cumberbatch as Doctor Strange, I tell you what, I became more excited about that movie than Ant-Man, than anything to do with Thor. Not quite the level of Captain America, but I was just thoroughly excited. The trailer hit, and I am much more excited. The cool thing about Doctor Strange is that there's a handful of superheroes that are actually using their powers to work out their own demons, and they're some of the best superheroes. And we're talking about Batman, who never actually fully, even remotely succeeds, and probably gains some demons on the way. We're talking about like Spider-Man and Doctor Strange, but Doctor Strange is a little bit different, because the demons that Batman and Spider-Man are working out have to do with the death of loved ones, and to whatever extent they were involved, but neither one of them being involved directly, both of them involved tangentially. But Doctor Strange is not like that. Doctor Strange is working out his own pride, his own arrogance, his own idols. Before the accident that caused him to lose the really fine ability with his hands, he worshipped himself. He thought he was the most important person, the smartest person, the most able, the most worthy person. And the reason he thought that was because of his abilities with his hand as a surgeon. And that was stripped away from him. And when you rest everything on a single idol like that, which we all do, when that's taken away, all of a sudden everything else comes into question, and you begin to really wonder, what value you do have when the thing you worshipped is just torn apart. Then what's left? John Calvin said that the heart is an idol factory. It's not a question of whether we worship something or not. We each have a God, whether it's actually God or something else. That thing that everything is about, the thing that you spend all your time, money, and effort on. And for Doctor Strange, that's that thing, the thing that made it worthwhile, that thing that made him feel important, that thing that made him feel worthy, is all of a sudden gone. And we see Strange go literally to the ends of the earth trying to replace that idol. Now, as a Christian, we can say, he finds that meaning in the wrong place. But even with that being said, we must recognize that, I mean, the deep truths of his story, the insight into how we work as people, of what we place our value in, and what becomes of us when we've lost it. So the reason I'm excited about the movie is because I see that in the trailer. The way they mirrored certain scenes with him before the accident, him after the accident. And Cumberbatch is such an incredible actor that, you know, you see it without him speaking any of these words, how everything in the same spot, in the same apartment, in the same location, how everything's now gone. And it really looks like they're going to do just an excellent, amazing job with that kind of spiritual journey that he goes on. And the trailer leaves us with that moment where his eyes are being opened to a much larger world, a world that honestly he's not the center of. And that's the really interesting thing about the comic and the character, is he ends up with 1,000,000 times greater power by the end than he did as a surgeon. And yet, as a surgeon, he thought he was the center of the universe. And now he recognizes that he's not. And that kind of journey, as I'm super excited to see it. To see how it plays out. I'm thrilled that they got an actor of Cumberbatch stature to play this role, and I think it's going to be great. And the trailer just got me all the more excited about it. So looking forward to that. Can't wait for November.